Movies nowadays struggle in many regards, but one primary component that I'd say most people agree is a problem is spoiling major plot points and twists in the trailer, whether it be teasing the return of a legacy character, trying to vaguely hint at a character death, or just lying to the audience. Trailers often struggle to properly portray the plot of the movie in a way that reveals some aspects while concealing some important ones. We've come very far from the early M. Night Shyamalan era of cinema with Sixth Sense, The Village, and Signs. Far in the wrong direction, of course, because it feels like the production of movies are being live tweeted by every news account, like Patrick Bateman is describing every step of the movie-making process. The best trailers know how to balance the mystery with the spectacle, and that's why I was so satisfied to see a new movie that is absolutely built on its twist, advertise that it has one, but conceal what it really is in its trailer. Because I've got to say, The Drama is my favourite movie of the year so far. I narrowly avoided having this twist spoiled for me going in, and I'm so glad I did, because in my head I was going over every possibility of what it would be, and the preceding conversation really brings to light so many things it actually could be. But I'm glad my predictions were way off, because what comes from it is such a satisfying analysis of a specific mindset and problem that's been happening for a while, but that's a discussion that requires a little more context. The drama follows soon-to-be-wed couple Charlie, a very nerdy and socially awkward guy who fixates on things for long periods of time and speaks in an eloquent yet self-aware way. Played, of course, by Hollywood heartthrob and my personal favourite actor, Robert Pattinson, in another literally me role of his. And of course, Emma, a self-confident, intelligent and compassionate woman played by, similarly, Hollywood heartthrob, Zendaya, who is on an insane run right now. I mean, obviously Zendaya and Rob are working together on 3 movies this year, 2 being some of the biggest blockbusters yet to come out, but Dune Part 2 into challenges into this is already enough to prove all of her haters wrong. She's an icon, and she bagged Spider-Man. But Charlie and Emma are planning their wedding, and things are going great. They've got the venue booked, they're practicing the dance moves, writing their speeches, going over the stories they're going to reference, like their first meeting, first date, first kiss. They couldn't be happier. But when they're testing out the menu with their closest 2 friends, who also happen to be married, they drink a little too much, and unfortunately, decide it's a good idea to reveal the worst thing they think they've ever done. Some stories are shared, some dark, some kind of funny, but when it comes to Emma's turn, she changes the entire atmosphere, and in recounting exactly what happened, will forever alter the way Charlie and their friends will ever look at her again. The question is, how the hell are they going to get married after that bombshell hits? While a simple premise, I kind of love this. This isn't a story that needs a ton of money pumped into its visuals. All it really works off of is the characters. For this to work, there needs to be a deep understanding of what they are thinking, feeling, and how they will react. From the actors, screenwriters, and director, any single moment that is even slightly out of character and the immersion is broken in the entire narrative as a whole. It's all about the interpersonal conflicts everyone has upon shocking news resurfacing. How it impacts day-to-day, your view of the person you thought you loved, and ultimately how you see the world. Every little sign that relates to that story you can't get out of your head, and the consequences of worrying too much, and trying to change things out of fear. Look, I love Robert Pattinson. I mean, he's fucking Batman, and I've been a Bruce Wayne enthusiast since I was 6. But Zendaya is sensational in this movie. She balances every aspect of Emma in such varied ways. She plays her in a sense that I feel like 5 different people can watch this movie and they would all have a different thing to say about her character. The way she talks about absolutely horrible things in multiple different contexts, make them all sound like believable ways the character would discuss them, is such a difficult thing to nail down and really goes to show how good of an actress she is. I personally love Emma and Charlie because of this. Like, yeah, they're probably bad people, but they feel real. They have clear flaws even outside of what they've done. Their personalities have issues that they should really work through, and they feel like real people, which makes the drama
He said it!
Click together in ways that will keep your butt clenched in your seat and your eyes fixed on the screen. There isn't high-octane action or intense shouting arguments, and still tension is kept so high throughout the movie, until it all culminates into such a cortisol-spiking third act with one of the most mean jump scares I think I've ever dealt with. I had so many gasps across my audience, it almost made me want to laugh. It was so well done. Honestly, everyone is pulling out all the stops though. Director Christopher Borgli must be pretty dang good at his job for pulling out these performances out of everyone. Even the fucking side characters are giving insane performances. And the cinematography? You have so many interesting quick pans that jump to flashback and other scenes and it meshes together so well. The editing department especially, and the director of photography, was so in sync. You get these amazing shots that have pure emotion radiating from every inch, representations of loneliness, depression, and the pure stress that everyone is feeling leading up to the big day. Plus, I also love that we basically see scenes of what characters think is happening, even though that's not actually true, or what they see certain people as because of the events of the movie. It's a little complicated to word, but we basically see what they think, and seeing inside their heads really works for me. The dialogue is also very funny for such a dark movie. I was having a blast. Dry sarcasm is always great, but an overuse of it can sometimes get you into Bill Murray territory. And I hate Bill Murray. Okay, I don't actually, but I don't think he's that funny. And he's always playing a character who thinks he's the funniest person alive. Venkman is the closest he's ever gotten, and he's been chasing that high ever since. Mixing in some more physical comedy, actual jokes, and kinda relatable secondhand embarrassment scenes were just a delight. This is gonna sound insane, but I find this movie very relatable. Of course, this is a movie built on its twist, so if I want to discuss all the themes, I need to discuss the twist. So this is your spoiler warning. Jump ahead to the timestamp on screen to avoid me spoiling the most important part of the movie. If you plan on watching it, please skip ahead. Going in blind makes it such a great experience in the cinema. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's spill the tea. Okay, Emma's big secret is that when she was a teenager, she planned to bring her father's rifle to her school and to use it. I don't know if I'm allowed to word this the technical way without YouTube attacking me, but I'm sure you've all listened to Pumped Up Kicks. Now, there's a controversy surrounding this movie because of this twist, saying the movie should require a trigger warning, and I can understand both sides of this argument. I feel like it's kinda lose-lose because you don't want to trigger some potential victim's PTSD, but you don't want to spoil the movie twist. But frankly, I consider the decision to make this the twist an amazing one. Because the entire movie is about this. And first off, it is the kind of thing that makes you see both sides. One, it was planned and not carried out, so nobody was really harmed, but two, you're kind of going to think about that every time you look at them now. The potential victims, every emotional outburst, every mention of a weapon, it's not going to leave your mind. But I just feel like the deep dive we see into why someone might turn to planning gun violence at their school is incredibly important and timeless, because shootings happen so disgustingly frequently in America, and yet attention is given to racist podcasters getting shot instead, and yet it feels like it's just been accepted as something that happens. Nothing is being put in place to deter them. Seeing an actual sympathetic angle analyzing what is attractive about the idea, what adolescent minds think about guns, and a full-on mention of the aesthetics of shootings, which sounds incredibly vain and stupid because it is. It doesn't make it any less real. It highlights the exact problems of ignoring these kinds of problems and highlights the glorification of it that happens subconsciously, while comparing it to the real effects it can have, in a way that I think is going to be very effective in deterring this potential thing from happening in the future. It creates so many links between bullying, self-image, and all kinds of things teenagers worry about. It really feels like a well-thought-out depiction and cautionary tale for how we need to look out for people lest this kind of thing may happen. I mean, the brutal irony that the reason Emma didn't go through with it wasn't because of someone talking her out or hugging her, it was because another one happened. And only then did she see the consequences. Not just the lives lost, but the lives impacted. Friends, family, acquaintances, relationships. So much lost that could have been avoided, and realizes the exact impact she would have left because she romanticized the idea of violent revenge. We see Emma's worst, but then we see her best. How she breaks down crying, gets rid of the gun, and becomes a gun control activist. She turns her life around after the incident, and that balances the scales even more for what an individual watching the movie is going to think of her. And I love that. Morally dubious protagonists, my beloved. We love complex characters in this house, especially the women. But frankly, there's not much else to say. The drama is a very simple, but well-executed movie. A tight script, wonderful directing, and very, very well-communicated cinematography and editing might make for a technical marvel. And that's not even talking about two insanely talented lead performances that are carrying the entire movie on their backs. And even with the pressure, they don't crumple. It's funny, it's anxiety-inducing, it can be a little existential, and will give you plenty of secondhand embarrassment. But my god, it is a good time! A great movie, and my favorite of the year so far. Go check it out unless you're pretty sensitive to the topic involved, which, yeah, I understand. 9.5 out of 10. Glad we got a new addition to the Robert Pattinson Jorking It universe. And if you don't want to... You know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I'd recommend you subscribe. The YouTube algorithm isn't kind to smaller content creators, and even the smallest bit of engagement can help push our videos to a wider audience. I've got plenty more reviews in the works, and more movies are always coming out for me to discuss. In the meantime though, if you like the video, please like it, and if not, that's okay. Hope to see you in the next one. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content, I would really appreciate it. But no matter what, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Hope to see you soon.